Hillary Duff says she isn't feeling her husband anymore. In fact, she says she doesn't believe he is her true soulmate. Dr. Darren Moore is with us this afternoon. We're talking about soulmates and feelings and commitment. Can lasting love be based on a feeling? Because we all remember feelings. Just the thought of that person made you feel a certain way. But that kind of intensity, does it fade over time? And what do you do when it fades? Joining us this afternoon, Dr. Darren Moore, licensed family counselor. Thank you so much for being with us. This is something that is just hot on the internet right now because Hillary Duff actually came out and said, I don't think that anyone should believe that they can be with someone all of their lives because there are too many changes in us over time. How do you counsel someone who just comes to you, Dr. Moore, and says, I don't feel the same way I felt about my husband when I married him?
Well, one of the things that I do is I try to get the individual to go back to when they first met that person, to have a conversation about what is it that they liked about that person, what is it that drew them to them, and then try to figure out what went wrong over time. I think one of the things specifically around this stuff is that, she was about 21, 22 when she got married. And so thinking about where she was developmentally, she was already very famous, already established. And so part of me wonders about kind of her mindset when she went into the marriage. So, when I think about marriage, I think about commitment. So you talked about is love about a feeling or about a commitment? Well, love is a feeling, but when you decide to get married, that's about a commitment. And so I think about
I see. Yes, there are two things going on there.
Absolutely. And so I think about how important it is when you make a decision to get married, how important it is for you to value that. And so thinking about Ms. Duff, she is the product of a divorced family. Her parents got divorced. And so I think about if someone's struggling in their relationship, how important it is for you to fight for your relationship.
Well, let me ask you this. She said, I was young. She said, I was a star since I was 11.
Absolutely.
And I changed over the years, and I'm not the same woman he married. But can't we all say that? If I got married at 20, at 40, I'm not the same woman. If I got married at 30, at 50, I'm not the same woman. Is that an out for everybody, that I have changed?
I think we all change. We all change over time. That's something to be expected, but it's how do we change and how does that impact and interact with the other person? And
can you change together?
Absolutely. Can we grow together? Can we change together? Can we make sure that we remember what brought us to each other and keep that over time, I think, is a struggle for some people.
Will Smith and Jada Pinkett came out the other day, and they were saying, our love died. And so I went to that headline. And he said, it died many times, but I stayed with her.
That's right.
Because I knew it was coming back.
That's right.
Yeah. He said, I wasn't always in love with my wife. And I think that happens. I remember in my marriages for like a couple of months, it's like, why did I marry this crazy man? And then at the end of like 60 days, it's like, oh, baby, you got that stuff.
Absolutely.
It comes back. So I began to see that there are waves,
Absolutely.
Yes.
And I think anyone that goes into a marriage thinking that it's going to be a honeymoon forever is really going into a marriage without a clear concept. So in actuality, you will have waves, you'll have ups and downs. And so you need to expect that, but to know that I still love this person. And even though I'm not feeling them right now, it's going to come back. And so if you ever get to that place where you feel like you've lost it, well, then you communicate about that. Let's have a conversation about that. Let's figure out what we need to do to get back on track.
Let's help some people who are kind of feeling, I wonder if I married the right person. Okay, what can you expect that will naturally happen? Is it a distance, or is it we are interested in different things? What are some of the ups and downs that you will see in a marriage or in any relationship?
Well, some of it is about just changes over time. So, for example, changing when you have children. If you have children, different dynamics going on in the family. Now you're taking care of your parents, maybe other stressors from, your employment. It's typically outside things that are going on around us that impact our ability to stay connected.
Well, let me ask you this. How often is it that someone married someone that was so sexy that's, you know, that her looks or his looks were a part of the attraction. Now she's had 3 babies, or he is not, he's got a pot gut. Does that come into it sometimes? Do people have unrealistic, the reason that J-Lo looks like J-Lo because she spends millions of dollars to look like J-Lo.
Absolutely. I think if you get into a situation and you think that your connection is only going to be, you know, based on your physical appearance, well then, yeah, you're going to be set up to fail because we all get older and sometimes people do change. I think it's good to have expectations and say, okay, well, when we get older, I'm still expecting you to maintain.
Take care of yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But sometimes, you know, people, women, men, they gain weight due to different things, whether it's just eating, whether it's having children. Sometimes the stress of every day just, you know, gets the best of us. And so I think it's about how do we have a conversation about that? And what do we do? Can we work out together?
Well, let me ask you this before we go. How important is it to say, okay, we have issues, but I'm willing to talk to someone else, to allow that counselor, that other set of eyes and ears into the relationship? Does it help?
Absolutely. Nothing beats a fail but a try. So you have to say, I need help and I'm committed to you. I love you. And so let's try to get help before I just throw in the towel. We have to continue to take marriage and relationships seriously.
Okay, before we go, they're rushing me, but I got to hear this. She said he's not my soulmate. What is a soulmate?
A soulmate, if he is not her soulmate, then she probably married the wrong person to begin with. So she clearly did not know
Who he
who he was, nor did she know who she was. So the soulmate is someone that you feel connected to at a very deep, almost spiritual level. In something that you know, it's not something that you have to think about or question, or it's definitely not something that you go into a marriage with and then you go get a divorce.
No, that's not my soulmate. Dr. Moore, I love it. Thank you so much. Great conversation.
All right.
Don't forget, we have our first Thursday Pet of the Week coming up, and then we have pop culture. We're looking at a trend towards using older women in Hollywood. I love it. Okay, we'll be back. Don't go away. Great.